to lower that.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the March 13th, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. And if everyone would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce everyone. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. To my left is Gary Merrill, Vice President of the Board. And to my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis. Farzan Ahmed, our County Administrator, and Jen Walraven is our Clerk today. So we'll go ahead and start.
Resolution number 17-246 in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held March 9th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-246. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment today, so that brings us to item number 4, and Ms. Frazier, the presentation of the Citizens Climate Lobby.
Okay.
Good morning.
President Benton and Commissioners Lewis and Merrill and Commissioner staff and the members of the public. We thank you for giving us your time on your agenda. I am Alice Frazier, co-leader of the Delaware chapter of the Citizens Climate Lobby, which is a national, bipartisan, grassroots organization whose mission it is to build political will for climate solutions through citizen action. With me are fellow members Sheila Fox and John Krieger. We will give you information shortly about Citizens Climate Lobby and our proposal for congressional action on climate change. However, our main purpose today is to review for you the mounting evidence that the changing climate caused by carbon emissions from fossil fuels is posing a significant threat right now, and in the future to Ohio's economy, agriculture, and property, as well as to our citizens' health and well-being. Now, John Krieger will describe to you some of the specific threats to our safety and health. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm John Krieger with the Citizens Climate Lobby. By the year 2050, the U.S. Midwest is likely to experience 10 to 30 days each year of temperatures above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. That is 5 to 15 times the average for the past 30 years. By the end of the century, that number is likely to be 25 to 90 days with a 1 in 20 chance of 110 days each year above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperatures above 95 degrees reduce average worker productivity by up to 2.6%. By the end of the century, we are likely to experience 1 to 23 days each year at a humid heat stroke index, category 3, with a 1 in 20 chance of 46 days at category 3. Category 3 heat emergency, in addition to being deadly to vulnerable populations, will have a similar adverse effect on businesses as a level 3 winter emergency. Higher average temperatures will alter weather patterns, leading to more frequent periods of drought and severe weather events. The productivity of Ohio agriculture, while benefiting in the short term from a longer growing season, will likely be adversely affected by high heat and humidity, drought and flooding, as well as new insect pests and weeds. Maple syrup production in Ohio, in addition to being an iconic winter activity, brought $5.5 million of mostly supplemental income to Ohio farmers and woodlot owners in 2014. Due to shorter seasons, lower sugar content, tree health decline, and competition from expanding Canadian production, all due to global warming, maple syrup production is declining in Ohio and may disappear entirely in 75 to 100 years. According to the third National Climate Assessment, a combined report from 13 U.S. government agencies. Health effects of climate change include increased respiratory and cardiovascular disease, injury and premature death related to extreme weather events, changes in the prevalence and geographical distribution of food and waterborne illnesses and other infectious diseases, and threats to mental health. Employees will likely need more sick days due to illness and treatment of illness. Experienced employees will be lost due to premature deaths, and health costs, including insurance premiums, are likely to increase. Business and personal property damage is likely to increase as severe weather events, including high winds and hail, become more frequent and intense. This could also lead to higher insurance premiums. Studies have shown that crime waves often correlate with heat waves. Businesses, as well as the population in general, could experience increased vandalism, theft, and violence. Higher average temperatures due to climate change could result in higher average crime rates. The U.S. military recognizes climate change as a threat multiplier. Populations in vulnerable regions who experience drought, crop failure, and other climate-related disasters will face food shortages, political instability, and radicalization, making the world less safe and more vulnerable to armed conflict. Thank you.
Okay.
Morning. So in closing, a bit about Citizens Climate Lobby. We meet with and build relationships with our congressional offices, in our case with Representative Pat Tiberi and his staff, advocating for a carbon fuel dividend plan. In very brief, this plan would collect a fee on carbon at the point of extraction, mined or wellhead, or point of entry into the U.S. that would rise in predictable increments. All funds, net of collection costs, would be distributed to American households. None of it would go to the government. There's much more detail about this proposal and about CCL that we'd be glad to discuss individually with any of you, but in short, this plan is non-regulatory. It's transparent, it's fair to consumers, and doesn't go government. It will provide a rapid and market-based shift to clean and renewable energy. It will lower carbon emissions while growing the economy and creating jobs. In fact, a plan very like this one has just been proposed by 8 distinguished conservative statesmen. They call themselves the Climate Leadership Council. We're not asking you to take a position on this specific plan. Rather, it's our hope that you, as a board, will recognize the climate threat to the future of Delaware County's economy and residents, and the need to protect them. We ask you to consider a policy resolution listing the specific effects of climate change that threaten Delaware County and voicing support for rapid congressional action to limit and mitigate climate change. Within this past week, the newly appointed head of the EPA stated his skepticism regarding climate change. Therefore, there's never been a more important time for our local leaders to make their concerns known to Congress. If there's time, we can answer questions.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
No, I certainly appreciate your coming in and telling us about your concerns, though.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
If you indulge us just for another minute, we have handouts for all of you if you'd be interested.
Okay.
Okay.
The references, also I have my number and my email on the reference page.
Okay.
Appreciate your time. And
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Frazier.
I'll see you guys at Rotary today, right?
right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer, let's move on.
Resolution number 17-246, in the matter of approving purchase orders and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0310.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 17-246. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-247, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 17-247. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-248, in the matter of granting the annexation petition of 59.58 acres of land in Berkshire Township to the Village of Galena.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote?
Vote on motion 17-248. Mr. Merrill? Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-249, in the matter of approving the plat of subdivision for villas at Loch Lomond.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. This is a 27-lot subdivision located in Liberty Township off of State Route 315. All of the public improvements have been completed, and the plat has been approved by all the required county agencies, and so we recommend approval at this time.
This is just a section, a new section being developed of the existing Loch Lomond subdivision.
This is actually off the west end of Manning Parkway, if you know where that is.
Oh, yeah.
Just north of the county line, across from the treatment plant.
Okay, so it's not, you don't access it by entering Loch Lomond.
Well, that's a whole other story. It does connect to Loch Lomond at the west end. It actually sits right between Manning Parkway and
Okay.
Loch Lomond.
The main entrance is going to be on Manning Parkway then, presumably.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
No questions.
Okay, vote?
Vote on motion 17-249. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-250, in the matter of approving a drainage maintenance petition for Liberty Township freestanding emergency department.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
This is a project located off Sawmill Parkway. I think it's just north of the Bridgewater Conference Center, doing some site work there. This action would place the drainage system on the county's drainage maintenance program, and we recommend approval.
Vote?
Vote on motion 17-250. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-251, in the matter of approving a contract of sale and purchase between Otis Ronk and Shirley Ronk and the Board of Delaware County Commissioners for Dell CR 24-0.07.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
We have reached agreement with the property owner for purchase of additional right-of-way along South Old 3C Highway for our proposed project. I have reviewed this with you, and I recommend approval.
Vote?
Vote on motion 17-251. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-252, in the matter of accepting the drainage maintenance inspection report for 2017 and establishing percent of maintenance assessments for 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
The Soil and Water District has prepared the drainage maintenance inspection report and recommends the percentage of maintenance assessments to be established in 2018. Milt Link and his staff is here today. If you have any questions on this, they can probably answer any questions better than I can.
Yeah. Milt, any further comments? We all read the report you prepared page by page, line by line.
So, what time are you available today for a test?
I'll let Commissioner Lewis do the test and see how she does on it. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I just would comment that the report was obviously very well prepared and very detailed and addresses every single one of the ditch petitions, and I appreciate the diligence with which it is done. So I didn't have any further comments.
No, it's
questions.
impressive, the footprint of what's done, but it's...
Yeah, this clearly is a very popular program and gaining in popularity. What do we have, 8 or 9 petitions in progress, something like that now? So again, okay, we'll let you off the hook this time, Milt.
Well, thank you.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-252. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Brings us to the middle of page 585, item number 12, resolution number 17-253, in the matter of approving a right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. We had 6 right-of-way permit applications this round. We've reviewed all the associated plans and recommend approval.
Vote.
Vote on motion 17-253. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-254, in the matter of approving the contract and addendum for the purchase of photocopier rental and support services between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, and MT Business Technologies.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Good morning, Commissioners. David Dombrowski with Job and Family Services. So this, our last copier agreement expired at the end of December, and we did not have time at that time to go out for quotes. So we extended that contract through March 31st of this year, and then immediately went out to bid in January. And so we requested quotes from 3 vendors. The lowest cost vendor response was MTB Business. And just to give you a sense, the bid that we received over the last contract cost is a savings of $8,557 per year, or roughly $713 per month. When you compare the bid that we received from MTB against the state contract, which is known as the cost per copy program, the bid that we received is $11,000 a year cheaper than the cost per copy contract with the state. So for those reasons, I'm asking for approval.
I guess I'd like to commend you for your diligence in working through the process and saving the county a significant amount of money.
Thank you.
By doing that. And Administrator Ahmed and I had a conversation about the work you had done and the online, or the alternatives that you'd looked at. And again, I think this is a great way to, great discipline to stretch the county's dollars as far as possible. So
Yeah,
it's very encouraging that a contractor came in so,
Yes.
so contractor we've been using came in with very attractive pricing.
Yeah, we had we had multiple vendors for the various copiers at JFS, and this consolidates them all under the one. So to the thought of sufficient quantity yielding a lower cost, that actually came out in this particular example as well. So.
Yeah, it's a good template for the rest of the county as well, the county offices. So appreciate the extra work.
My only comment is it doesn't take away from the fact that we would like to get this more centralized, and rather than each department doing their own thing, some better than others perhaps. I'm certainly not in a position to comment on that specifically, but I think there would be some value as we continue down that road, which we talked about earlier. So just want to reemphasize that.
Yep, that's right, Commissioner, and we're working on that, too.
And with respect to that, our contracts now have 30-day terminations for convenience clauses, so that as the county moves in that direction, we have an option to be able to go in line with that.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, David.
Yeah, good work.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-254. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
David.
Resolution number 17-255, in the matter of approving a Title IV-D contract between the Child Support Enforcement Agency and the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning. I'm Sue Sowers. I'm the Assistant Director with Child Support. And this morning I'm requesting approval for our 4D contract with the Prosecutor's Office. And basically the contract allows us to receive 66% in federal reimbursement funding for the services that we currently purchase from the Prosecutor's Office. So what we had submitted to you was the contract itself, which contains basically the budget for 2017, so what we anticipate in purchasing. So it contains our projected budget, the cost of services for 2017, and it's actually much lower than what we had projected for last year, which is nice. It's actually $21,209.36 lower than what we had anticipated buying last year, and that's basically based on what we actually purchased over the last 2 years. Okay. So we tried to do an average this year to come up with a better budgeting scheme for what we can anticipate for 2017. So we do recommend approval of the contract.
Okay.
Thank you. Good work.
Comments? All right, we'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-255. Mr. Merrill? Aye. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Resolution number 17-256, in the matter of approving an easement agreement between Deborah Lewis Benjamin and the Board of Delaware County Commissioners for the Liberty Sawmill sanitary sewer improvements.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. This easement is kind of going to complete the easements that we need for the Liberty Sawmill project to be able to get this thing out to bid rather quickly. What we did is we actually revised the alignment to avoid needing 4 private property easements in this area to get it down to 2. So this one's a little bit longer than it was originally, so we could avoid the other 2 easements. So we recommend your approval on this.
Great.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-256, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-257, in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer subdividers agreement for Village at Olentangy Crossing Phase 4.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This is our standard form agreement, subdividers agreement for this area. I think it's 36 lots, and we recommend your approval.
Yeah, just a question. Where exactly is this project?
This is, I believe you know where this is. This is in your subdivision in the Elm Creek, it's the Olentangy Environmental Control Center tributary area on State Route 23 near the Orange Pool.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I know where Olentangy Crossing is since I live there. But I was just curious which...
Where it's located. I was wondering what kind of question you had.
36 lots.
Where is it in relation to the current?
Yeah, the whole subdivision now.
It's in your backyard.
I'm not exactly sure which portion it is. I could get you that information, though.
If you could, I would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I think this is the northern
Maybe
phase
back behind the library back in there,
of it.
maybe?
That's not Olentangy Crossings.
Yeah, I should have known you'd ask that question about the exact location. So
Because
I'll
Olentangy
get you
Crossing
that.
is actually on both sides of 23, and I think it's the northern, but anyway, if you could let me know.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Okay. We'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-257, Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-258, in the matter of approving the sanitary sewer improvement plans for Old Harbor Estates Section 2 and Scioto Ridge Crossing Section 1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This project has met all of our requirements. It's located along South Old State Road near our Peach Blow pump station in the Elm Creek tributary area, and we recommend your approval.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-258, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-259, in the matter of approving a professional services agreement with Quality Control Inspection Incorporated for Regional Sewer District Construction Inspection Services during 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This is an annual contract that we have with QCI. They basically perform as-needed inspection services when we don't have enough inspectors to go out and cover all the projects that we have going on. So we basically use them as needed, and the money that we use is actually paid for by the developers with our inspection fees. So it's basically reimbursed through those projects. So we recommend your approval on this.
How often do we have to go outside? Very often, or is...
We typically use about half of this contract, but with the amount of projects that we have going on this year, we're anticipating using more than what this contract is, which is why we have the next one on as well. We have basically we have 2 consultants to do the same type of work because we have so many development projects going on this year.
Okay. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-259, Mr. Merrill.
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-260, in the matter of approving a professional services agreement with H.R. Gray and Associates for general services.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So this is a very similar contract where we have on-call inspection services that we can use as needed when the QCI contract is basically exhausted. We also have H.R. Gray on board to do front-end documents for us. Currently, what we do is we have every consultant that does a project for us. They develop their own front-end documents, and it's kind of a tedious process for us to understand what's in those documents and also to pay them every single time to develop the same documents. So we want to create our own front ends that we can use for every single project and not continue to pay consultants to do that. Additionally, they're going to also put together some construction protocol for us and help us with our construction documentation and kind of standardizing that process. So these are kind of some things that we wanted to do once we got the master plan completed got all these projects kicked off, so now it's time to formalize our processes for construction before we get all these projects moving forward.
Vote.
Vote on motion 17-260. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thanks.
Resolution number
Thanks,
17-261, in the manner of approving a permit for the use of Delaware County facilities.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Communications Manager. This is for the annual Old Jail Tour that's conducted every October, and I would like to commend Judge Hemanowski, who sends us these applications, for giving us 7 months' notice on this. I wish permit requesters could be so organized. So we recommend for your approval. And also, I will note that traditionally you have waived any fees for this because Judge Hemanowski is present for all of it as a representative of the county.
Yeah, this is related to the every other year haunted Delaware ghost tour?
Yeah, the Northwest Neighborhood Association Ghost Walk. And one of the sites that they visit is the old jail. So,
Which is a very haunting sort of place.
hauntingly good time, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I went a couple years ago, and it was phenomenal.
See any ghosts?
Well, no, we saw pictures of ghosts. I don't know how undoctored those pictures were, but we saw pictures of ghosts. It was very well. It was 250 people or something like that. Sold out right away. So, again, it was a very popular event. Very interesting.
250 people.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. And it shows off the northwest area of Delaware very nicely. So, all right, we'll take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-261. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane.
That brings us to item number 21 and administrator reports.
Morning. Last week, Bob Lamb and I met with a couple of gentlemen to talk about 5G networks in the county. On your phone, as you can see, it's 4G, which is the highest technology right now, but apparently somebody's working on something called 5G. and what that will do is that will render 4G obsolete. It's right now it's just a concept, and from what the gentleman who was talking to us said, there aren't any communities that are working on 5G connectivity. So I think that would be a good thing for us in terms of showing that we have that capability. So, first, what does that entail? We need all of our partners on board, state, townships, cities, villages, because this will entail installation of utility poles. And these poles are spaced very close together. So then the question is, how do you install them and make them look aesthetically pleasing? Because that is what our community is. So this was just an initial conversation, and at some point in time, I think we will come and talk to you about it and show you what these people are talking about. So.
Is this the issue where there's some concern about right-of-way, and they have the ability to use a public right-of-way without really getting permission? Is this the same issue?
The gentleman who was talking to us said that there might be a state law that will allow a utility company to install these poles in public right-of-way without permission. I find that hard to believe. I haven't seen that law.
There is a concern, because it's come up in MOPC and CCO meetings, or and I don't know enough really to comment other than there's been a concern expressed.
So I have two concerns with that, if that does become a reality. Number one, what do we do when it's time for us to widen the road? That's a problem. Number two, what do you do at the corners when you have a side distance issue? So for that, I think it's very important that we get ahead of this, and maybe we have our own standards, and then we get to work with these utility companies.
I think in the economic development world, this is very important long-term,
Without a
strategically.
doubt. Without a doubt.
To have this 5G technology available as we develop the corridors that we're targeting.
Without a doubt. As we found out on Friday, there are some communities who are looking at making sure that existing office buildings that are no longer as attractive as brand-new office buildings still have the most modern amenities so that people don't leave. And that creates a bad vacuum in that area. So, yes, you're exactly right. I think if there's an opportunity for Delaware to be a 5G county, then of course we need partnerships for that with our utility companies, with our local governments, as well as with our providers.
Worth looking into, though. Thanks.
Definitely.
Yeah, and this was one of the competitive advantage project priorities.
Okay.
Yeah, surveys.
Oh, was
from the
it?
surveys, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's one of the top 5, I think.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so clearly the community is aware of it. And,
Oh, yes,
and-
yes. Sure. And we are scheduled to do our bond sale tomorrow, but they are projecting 24 inches of snow in New York City, and if that happens, then we won't do it because the traders will stay home. So we'll keep you informed.
Really?
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, just, if they had 5G connectivity, they wouldn't have to come to the office. They could do it from home.
Okay, that it?
That's all I have.
Right.
Thank you.
Commissioner Merrill?
Yeah, a couple of things. I think we all attended the Dublin DEC presentation last Friday. I think I found it interesting and helpful as we continue our evaluation. Morpsey had a good meeting last Thursday. The location is a major topic right now as far as where Morpsey is going to be located after the lease expires, and they're working on that. Finance authorities tomorrow night. So, Meals on Wheels Wednesday. I assume you guys are participating. I always do the kitchen in the morning and in fact, I've got a 10 o'clock conference call, so I'm going to have to leave about 9:30. So, but it's something that's always enjoyable, and it's impressive what our volunteers do in this county for those in need, and that's an opportunity every year to kind of witness that for yourself. So if you want to work in the kitchen with me, be there about 7:30. So,
well, I'm going to be there delivering the meals.
So,
but it is
you got to put the
impressive.
bills together to be delivered.
That's
so
right.
They're both very important.
Well, it's yes, it really is impressive. And then getting also just delivering the meals and seeing how much help and how people rely on it and how much help this is to enable people to stay in their own homes.
It's a real connection.
It is, it is.
And two other things real quickly. We're giving the state of the county at the chamber this Thursday. So if anyone wants to be there, be there. So looking forward to that. And
I mentioned he was really looking forward to it. Cy Keeley, I heard him talking the
Does
other
he talk
day
a lot about it?
Yeah, he really is.
Couldn't shut him up, could you?
He's right. I mean, he can't wait. So.
I've heard it's standing room only. Outside the door.
Well, he's talked a little more because I think Michigan made the tournament, so I'm sure he's talked a little more because of that.
Oh,
When does Michigan play? Friday, not till Friday.
So
I was hoping it'd be Thursday at noon. That would be interesting. Yeah, I was going to say.
And the other thing I have is we all got the email regarding 911 and the event, and emphasis is placed on Chief Wilson and the challenges he's facing health-wise, and I think it's worth saying that I feel an obligation. Chief Wilson is, having seen him in action over the last 4 years, having seen him in action with the levy and his presentation at the State House, one, it deserves our prayers and needs our prayers, and number two, everything we can do financially to help him.
yes.
And we encourage that on the part of everybody in the county. So
That event is May 5th, I think.
I believe so. I have the date here somewhere. It's early May, and I don't know whether there's an opportunity for us to do something countywide that beyond this or not, but it's probably worth at least having a conversation about, or maybe Jane could kind of lead that up with Farzan. But I think you're right. I think the date is May 5th. I have it here somewhere. Since it came up, I will confirm the date. Bear with me.
It's a Saturday morning.
I'm sorry?
It is.
May 6th. May 6th at 10 o'clock in Sunbury.
Great.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Commissioner Lewis?
I talked with Sean Miller from our emergency management, and we talked a little bit about the switchover from Code Red and that people need to sign up. And we've gotten, I know Jane did a press release on it, we are moving from Code Red on to a better system for people to receive weather warnings. And so they could not transfer all the names over from Code Red. Actually, there was a dispatch article on that a couple days ago. But anyway, people do need to sign up again if they do want to receive these weather warnings in the future. So we urge them to do so. There's if people just go to our website, there's a great big square that tells them what to do in the middle of the website. You just click on that, and that'll enable you to sign up to receive future weather warnings. And that's really all. The deck, are you going to mention more?
I was going to mention it, but...
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, we did go, as Farazan and Commissioner Lewis had mentioned, we did go to the DEC Center on Friday for a visit, and the DEC stands for Dublin Entrepreneurial Center. And it's a very interesting program. They have 140 businesses in various stages there. They provide comprehensive support for starting a business. The professional consultation, the internet, the meetings and conference rooms, office space. They have regular programming with legal experts, accounting experts, web design experts, tech experts. I mean, they have, and so they do. They provide a whole bunch of support, and they've had a number of successes out of there. They're full. And can be even busier if they wanted to. But anyway, very, very good program. I think we can learn from them, and as we go forward on working on an entrepreneur center here in Delaware County, I think we can learn a lot from what they've done. They were very willing to share their program with us and their ideas and what works and what doesn't work and so on. So it was very impressive. Congratulations to them for their successes. Let's see, just a couple of things. The Competitive Advantage Project survey has closed. It was Friday was the last day, and we had 317 responses, so we're going to work on prioritizing the 3 to 5 that we will submit to MORPC and Columbus 2020 as Delaware County's recommendations on projects, infrastructure projects that can best benefit Delaware County and the region. The Powell Chamber of Commerce luncheon we had Thursday.
Oh, yes.
And that went very well. And Commissioner Lewis and I were honored to receive a 10-year award for having supported the Powell Chamber for at least 10 consecutive years. We were a little surprised that we were getting an award, but we were honored to receive that. That went very well. Bob Lamb spoke and did a really nice job talking about the economic development plans and everything that is going on there. So he did a great job. The Health District annual meeting is tomorrow. I'm going to that tomorrow evening. I'm looking forward to learning a lot about that. We did have a couple Delaware folks honored in the newspaper over the last week. And here, Brett Bacon, our own Brett Bacon, who was speaking to us Thursday about a Soil and Water Conservation District project, was in the paper on Thursday, and he didn't even bring it up. And but anyway, Brett received the 2017 Outstanding Conservation District Professional Award from the Ohio Association of Soil and Water Conservation District.
Wow, that's really...
Yeah, I mean, just kind of out of nowhere. And he didn't... Yeah, and he just humbly didn't even mention it Thursday during session. Here's the picture, was in the paper on that very day. So congratulations, Brett. He does a great job with the ditch work, and I'm sure the rest of the soil and water conservation work. Judge Hemanowski also, who was, we mentioned this morning as volunteering, received, or not received an award, but he's joined the Ohio State Bar Foundation Board of Trustees. And again, nice leadership position for Judge Hemanowski, and I'm sure he'll represent Delaware County well in that. So, again, Judge Hemanowski is busy in a lot of ways, supporting Delaware, supporting the profession.
He's an enthusiastic supporter for the city and the county.
Oh, yeah. He does a great job of representing us. So that's all I got. We will move on to executive session.
Resolution number 17-262, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment, promotion, and compensation of a public employer, public official, and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-262. Mr. Merrill? Mrs. Lewis? Mr. Benton?
Aye. We're in executive session.